Hello and welcome to the Codima Toolbox installation part 1, setup guide and first time startup. To download the Codima Toolbox setup, you will need to visit codimatech.com/en/free-download. Fill out the form. Once the form has been submitted, the setup should be ready to download. Once downloaded, run the setup file. Microsoft Defender Smart Screen might stop the setup from starting. In order to proceed, click on More Information, thereafter click the button Run Anyway. It might take a minute before the setup starts. The following packages that will be installed by the setup are Bitnami WAMP stack, Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable packages, MySQL connector, and Win10 PCAP. Click Install to start the installation. Your computer may ask if you want the setup to make changes to your PC. Click Yes to proceed. As you can see now, the setup has noticed that I use an antivirus software. It may be a good idea to temporarily disable it before proceeding with the installation. I didn't need to do this in order to successfully install the software. If you decide not to disable yours, make sure to pay attention to any notifications regarding your antivirus software stopping a malicious program from being installed. If this does happen, either retry the installation with the antivirus software temporarily disabled, or whitelist the blocked file using your antivirus program. You will start by installing Bitnami WAMP stack. Click Next to continue. The only component you will need to install right now is a default selection, PHP MyAdmin. Click Next to continue. Now you can decide where to install it. Click on the folder icon to change the program installation path. Click Next to continue. To set up the MySQL server on your computer, you will need to decide a password for it. Make sure to remember the password because it is necessary when launching Toolbox for the first time. Click Next to continue. Here, you can decide which port for the MySQL server to use. Make sure to change it if the default port is already in use. Click Next to continue. Leave the checkbox unchecked. Click Next to continue. Now the setup is ready to install. Click Next to continue. The installation process may take a few minutes. The Windows firewall may have blocked the connection from Apache HTTP server. Click Allow Access to continue. Once the installation is complete, uncheck the option to launch Bitnami WAMP stack and click Finish to continue. At this point, the 32-bit Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable packages will be installed. If any of the C++ redistributable package installations failed, it might be because you already have these installed on your computer. Once these are done, the MySQL connector setup will appear. Click Next to continue. Make sure that I accept the terms in the license agreement is checked before clicking Next. Select the typical installation. Click Next to continue, and thereafter click Install to start the installation. Lastly, click Finish to end the MySQL connector setup. Now, the Win10 PCAP setup should appear. Click Next to start. Check I accept the terms in the license agreement before clicking Next. If you wish, you can change the installation path by clicking Change. Click Next to continue, then click Install to start the installation. Your computer may ask if you want the setup to install Win10 PCAP native x86 network protocol. Click Install to proceed. Once the installation is finished, click Finish. Both the setup windows will close. It may take a minute until the Codima software setup appears. Once it appears, click Next to start. Check I accept the terms in the license agreement before clicking Next. If you wish, you can change the installation path by clicking Change. Click Next to continue, then click Install to start the installation. Before the installation starts, Windows will ask if you want the setup to make changes to your PC. Click Yes. Wait for the installation to finish. Once done, click Finish to end the setup. If you have purchased a Codima license, place the Codima license zip folder in your Documents library. After the installation, two new icons will appear on your desktop. Run the program named Codima Toolbox. Before the program starts, Windows will ask if you want the program to make changes to your PC. Click Yes to proceed. If you have installed a license for Toolbox, the license changed confirmation window will appear before startup. I will go through how to install a license in part 2. In the next window, you will need to insert the MySQL password that you picked earlier in the setup. Click OK to continue. Thereafter, your browser should open the login page for the Toolbox software. Insert the default username and password to continue. The default username is admin with a capital A. The default password is admin with all lowercase letters. Once you have clicked the login button, you should have access to the program. Thank you for listening. Part 2 will cover the Codima license installation for Toolbox.